50 Cent says he gave the BMF family $5 million legal dollars, so he does not understand where the money went, how Lil Meech blew it before Big Meech got out of jail, but he feels extremely betrayed after that picture got taken between Big Meech and Rick Ross out of jail.
I looked at it like, from that point, maybe 50 should have brung a bag for Meech and maybe a watch or something. Because obviously that's what Ross did or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I had in mind.
But look, 50, boy, I see you struggling making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was gonna be able to do it. You thought you was gonna be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong? What's taking so long?
Ain't no way this just happened. Yandy just threw Lil Mendez out of the house after he straight up slapped Mendices in the car. Like, what, y'all? This family drama just took a turn nobody saw coming. We thought the tension between them was bad before, but this is next level chaos. Now, imagine the scene. Mendices and Lil Mendez are riding in the car, and out of nowhere, boom, a full-on slap right across the face. But hold up, why did this even happen? What did Mendices say that made his own son snap like that? And more importantly, why did Yandy react like this? Y'all, I got all the inside tea on this messy situation. And trust me, you ain't ready for these details. From secret arguments to explosive fights, this drama is giving full-on reality TV chaos. And let's not forget, the street's been talking, and the rumors are wild. So grab your popcorn. We about to break this all the way down. Alright, y'all, let's really break this mess down, because this right here, pure chaos. So here's the situation. Mendices and Lil Mendez been having tension for a minute now. We all saw the signs. We all heard the whispers. But nobody thought it would get this wild. Like, father-son relationships can be complicated. But this? Straight up disaster. Let's rewind for a second. If y'all remember, there's been bad blood between Lil Mendez and his dad for years. We ain't even got to act surprised. Ever since Mendices got locked up, things ain't never really been the same. And when he got out, the damage was already done. You could feel the tension through the screen every time they interacted. It was always something off. See, Mendez had to grow up fast while his dad was behind bars. And who was holding it down for him? Yandy.
50, who own your masters? Who own your masters? I buy your masters. You better shut up. I will buy your masters.
Stop there.
But look, 50.
He didn't stop.
Boy, I see you struggling making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was gonna be able to do it. You thought you was gonna be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong? What's taking so long? I know you want to make your mama one of them walking stars thing put down there. Your mama live her own walking star.
He really hit him where it hurts.
We call it renderings. You had the renderings, then you try to go get them loans, and ain't nobody loan you that money. You ain't even built the G-Unit studio yet. That might be why when I stood next to Meech, your knees buckled. Your knees buckled. Put your back against the wall. You're hustler.
She was making sure he was straight, making sure he felt supported. But the second Mendez came back, it's like everything just shifted. It was like he expected his son to immediately fall in line, act like nothing ever happened. But y'all know that's not how this works. Years of resentment don't just disappear overnight. And let's be real, Mendices hasn't exactly been Father of the Year. We all remember when he openly admitted that he wasn't sure if he would have held Yandy down if the roles were reversed. Chilly, the internet was not having it. If he could do that to his wife, imagine what kind of energy he's been giving his own son behind closed doors. Fast forward to this recent car ride, and boom, everything that's been brewing between them exploded. From what we heard, this argument started over something small. Just one of those casual father-son disagreements. But let's be real, when there's years of built-up tension, even the smallest thing can turn into a full-blown war. Now, sources say Mendices was coming at Lil Mendez over his attitude, saying he's been too disrespectful lately. And y'all know how fathers be trying to assert their dominance, like, boy, you better watch your tone when you talk to me type vibes. But Lil Mendez? He was not having it. He snapped back, telling his dad that he don't respect him cause he ain't never been there. Y'all, that's the kind of sentence that'll cut deep. And Mendices? Instead of just listening and understanding where his son was coming from, he did what he always does, tried to control the situation instead of actually fixing it. And y'all know how this goes. When parents feel like their kids are getting too bold, they try to shut it down immediately. They feel disrespected, and instead of understanding, they just double down. So Mendices raises his voice, tells Lil Mendez to fix his attitude, basically trying to check him. And that's when everything snapped. Lil Mendez looked his dad dead in the eyes and hit him with, "You wanna act like a father now? Where was this energy when I needed you?" Boom. Mic dropped. Y'all, if that ain't the hardest hitting line of the decade, I don't know what is. But before Mendices could even react, Lil Mendez straight up slapped him, y'all. I don't know if he blacked out from rage, if it was pure instinct, or if he had just been waiting for this moment his whole life. But baby, he swung. And the next thing you know, Mendices is just sitting there, stunned, like he really got hit by his own son. And for the first time in a long time, he didn't know how to react. Now, here's the craziest part. You'd think that Mendices would have snapped. You'd think he would have been yelling, going off, maybe even swinging. But no, he just sat there, looking like he had seen a ghost. Why? Because in that moment, he finally realized he lost his son. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, Yandy enters the chat. See, she wasn't even there when the slap happened. But the second she heard about it, she lost it. She was yelling, crying, demanding to know what the hell just happened. And when she finally put the pieces together, y'all, the decision she made next, nobody saw it coming. She told Lil Mendez to get out. And just like that, the entire family was ripped apart. But hold up, before we even get into that mess, let's talk about
50 Cent gives your family, $5 million in cash, whether it's through acting. I think he was paying for acting lessons for Lil Meech. You gotta have some appreciation. And before more details unfolded, like $5 million, because people were like, oh, 50 Cent doesn't pay people, he's always suing people. Look how he paid Ghost from Power less than Mary J. Blige on Power Book. But if Lil Meech got $5 million and he's nobody except the son of somebody famous, then he definitely could have treaded carefully with this Rick Ross
aftermath
thing.
Of the slap real quick. Mendices ain't the only one who felt the shock. The entire internet went wild. People were split right down the middle.
Right here is complete and utter bullshit.
According to this man, Meech might not even be in a halfway house.
As we know, Meech didn't actually leave for the halfway house. He's on home confinement because of the First Step Act and winning his 821 motion in federal court. After spending nearly 20 years in federal prison, Demetrius Big Meech Flannery left the federal prison in Coleman, Florida, Coleman Low, on October 15th for home confinement. Now, before you say I don't know what I'm talking about, it says right here that he's in the RRM in Miami. He's actually on home confinement. It says RRM because the RRM, or the halfway house, or really the re-entry manager, is administering his home confinement in Miami through the halfway house that's owned by Dismiss Charity.
Some were calling Lil Mendez disrespectful, saying, "You never lay hands on your father, no matter how bad things get." Others? They were straight up defending him, saying he was just releasing years of built-up anger after being neglected. And y'all know the memes came in hot. We had people calling it the father-son smackdown of 2020.
Dad, one life. Dad, happy birthday, champ. That's all we call. One of One Piece. One of One Piece. Money team. Love that. Did you set to yours? Yeah.
Then they played some arcades.
It's all out of queue, right? So when you're coming down here, you gotta read the taste colors. Oh, yeah.
At last, they ended up at a Lakers game while they kicked it in LA.
Five. Others were saying Mendices got what was coming to him. Some were even comparing it to that whole Will Smith and Chris Rock moment, talking about keep my name out your mouth. But wait, if y'all think this is crazy, just wait till I tell you how this family feud escalates in part 2. Because when I tell you Yandy's next move was unthinkable, y'all buckle up. Alright, so boom. Lil Mendez just slapped his own father, Mendices, in the car, and now the entire family is in shambles. But y'all, what happened next is where this situation went from messy to downright unthinkable. Because after that slap, Yandy had to make a decision. A decision that would change everything. Now, let's be real. Yandy loves Lil Mendez. She's basically been raising him since he was a little kid. She was holding him down when Mendices was locked up, making sure he had everything he needed. She played the role of both mom and dad. And y'all know that wasn't easy. But at the same time, she loves Mendices too. And seeing her son put hands on his own father? That was the final straw. So what does she do? She looks Lil Mendez dead in the eye and says, "You gotta go." Phew. When I tell you nobody saw this coming, the internet went into a full-blown meltdown. Like, we're talking shocked reactions, people screaming at their screens, Twitter in flames. Because, let's be real, ain't nobody expected Yandy to turn on Lil Mendez like that. But let's break it down. Cause there are two sides to this. On one hand, you got people saying Lil Mendez was dead wrong. You never put your hands on your father. Yandy had to put her foot down. But on the other side, you got folks like, wait a damn minute. How you gonna kick out the same kid you've been raising all these years? Ain't he the one who was abandoned by his dad? And, baby, the way people were arguing in these comment sections? Messy. But before we get into that, let's talk about Lil Mendez's reaction. Cause y'all, when I tell you this boy was shocked. He looked at Yandy like he couldn't even believe what he just heard. Like this woman, his protector, his ride or die, just told him to get out. And y'all, let's be real. Lil Mendez ain't no dummy. He knew this slap was gonna cause problems, but he never thought it would come to this. So, you know what he did? He laughed. Not just any laugh, a whole cold, sarcastic, I can't believe this type laugh. And then he hit her with, "Oh, so now I'm the bad guy? After everything I've been through?" Phew, gut-wrenching. But Yandy? She didn't budge. She stood firm. She was like, "I don't care what you've been through. You crossed the line." And that was it. Lil Mendez grabbed his stuff and walked out. Now, here's where things get even wilder. Because now that Lil Mendez is out of the house, he's out here in these streets talking. And when I say talking, I mean exposing everything. He went straight to social media, airing out family secrets, posting cryptic messages. And y'all, he even went live. And baby, the way he was talking, he held nothing back. He started exposing how Mendices was never really there. How he used to fake like he cared just for the cameras. How he only started acting like a father when it was convenient for him. And then he dropped the biggest bomb. He said, Yandy ain't as innocent as she tries to act. Phew. At that point, the internet went from shocked to straight up speechless. Because let's be real, Yandy has always had that perfect wife, perfect mother image. She's the one who's supposed to be the peacemaker, the one who keeps everything together. But Lil Mendez? He was like, now let's talk about the real Yandy. And that's when things really took a turn. He started dropping hints that Yandy only took care of him to look good for the cameras, that behind closed doors, she was a whole different person. He even said, y'all really think she just took me in out of love? Or was it cause it made her look like the perfect wife? At this point, people ain't even know who to believe. Because let's be real, on one hand, Lil Mendez is out here looking like a kid who's been through hell and back, finally speaking his truth. But on the other hand, people were like, is he just acting out cause he got kicked out? And then, because this situation wasn't messy enough already, Mendez finally speaks out, y'all. He was quiet at first. He ain't say nothing for days. No Instagram posts, no comments, nothing. But then he did an interview. And when I tell y'all this interview was straight up damage control, I mean he came ready with the script, the sad face, the I'm just a hurt father routine. He sat there like, you know, as a man, I just never thought my own son would turn on me like this. And the interviewer was eating it up like, Wow, that must be so painful for you. And Mendez hit M with